Good morning, students. How are you all? Hope you all are fine at home. Very good. I am also fine, students. Shall we start the next lesson? Company management. In Companies Act, we have studied about that act and its the kinds of shares, then debentures, okay, and its usage. Everything we have studied. Now we are going to learn about the company management. How the company is managed. Okay. So we should know what is a company. Company is a artificial person, isn't it? So it cannot manage its own affairs since it is not a human being. But human beings' help is needed to manage the company's affairs. Okay, because it is having a long life, that means perpetual succession. That is another important feature of a company than other form of organizations. So since it has a continuous life till its death, somebody has to manage its affairs of the company. So the human beings, those who are needed to uh, manage the affairs or the activities of the company are called the board of directors. So company management is done by a group of human beings. Okay, they are called the board of directors. Not only one person. Here at least the minimum number will be given. Okay, the board of directors only have to manage the affairs of the company. They are the group of human beings. Okay, they are responsible to run the company's affairs. Okay, so each person in the board of directors is called a director, director of a company. So what they do, what is their work? Uh, they have to control the affairs, means they have to manage the affairs, they have to control the affairs of the company, they have to guide them, okay, and they have to direct the company towards what they will direct the company towards the successful achievement of the objectives of the company. Okay, because that is their main responsibility, their duty to achieve the objectives. All the objectives will be prescribed in the memorandum of association. So what are the objectives prescribed in the memorandum of association must be achieved with the help of the directors. So they are the responsible person to achieve those objectives. Okay, now their appointment and their qualification, everything is stated in the Companies Act 2013, chapter 31. 11. Okay, Companies Act 2013, chapter 11. It is mentioned the appointment and the qualifications. Okay, everything is stated in chapter 31 of Companies Act 2013. And their duties, how the board of directors must work, and everything is, it will be stated in the articles of association also. Okay, and some of the provisions of the Companies Act. Okay, their position, their selection, everything must be stated in the articles of association and as per the provisions of the Companies Act. Okay, so we can say the board of directors are the eyes of the company. Okay, because they are fully responsible. So a person, for a human being, what is very important to function? Eyes, and the activities, the brain is very important. So we can say they are the brain of the company. Then the hands, legs, isn't it? Hands only work. So we can say they are the hands of the company. Okay, so as the organs, important organs in the human body helps the effective, efficient functioning of a human being. In the same way, the directors are the important persons for the effective and efficient functioning of a company. Okay, so what they do, they are framing the policies. They must frame the policies, and they have to help them how to implement the policies. Okay, whether the policies are implemented, that must be um, that may that must be watched, okay, often, whether it is they must have a follow up of the policies, whether the framed policies are implemented and whether they are achieved. Okay, and whether the objectives are achieved, what are the objectives mentioned in the memorandum are achieved, they have to have a follow up. Okay, so now we will see the again we will see some of the meaning and definition of directors. Till now we have seen, isn't it, the meaning of the directors only, what they do. So in another way we can say the person who takes active interest in the well-being of the company. Active interest in the well-being of the company is called a director, and he is one of the member of the board of directors. Okay, so he is leading the company and he is helping or managing the functioning of a company, we can say. Okay, so from this meaning, a short one word meaning. Now the definition given by the Companies Act, section 234 of the Companies Act 2013. It is defining a company thus. Okay, a person who is appointed, a person who is appointed or elected. Either he may be appointed or he may be elected by the company. Okay, so that is the first sentence. A person who is appointed or elected member of a board of directors of a company. Okay, either the person, director, may be appointed or elected member of the board of directors of a company. Already we have studied the director is a member of the board of directors of the company. So that is the first sentence. A director is a person who is appointed or elected member of the board of directors of a company. The next part, and has the responsibility of determining and implementing policies. Okay, related to policies, what he has to do, he has to determine. First he has the responsibility to determine, that means the framing the policies and implementing the policies. Okay, implement means putting into force. Okay, or that means following, doing, performing the policies. Okay, framing the policy, so he has the responsibility in framing, determining the policies and implementing policies along with others in the board. Okay, not only a person only we have studied, he has to work along with other members of the board. That is the second part of the sentence. Okay, and he has the responsibility of determining and implementing policies along with others in the board. Okay, first sentence in the definition. It is not necessary to hold any shares in the company or be an employee. Next part, he does not need to hold any shares. Before this Companies Act, they must hold the qualification share. Okay, as per the Companies Act 2013, they do not need to hold any shares. So it is not necessary to hold any shares in the company or be an employee. He may not be an employee also. The third part of the definition, directors act on the basis of resolution. How they act? Okay, they are acting as per the resolutions made in the board of directors meeting according to their powers. They are given some powers. Okay, how, by whom? By that is stated in the articles of association of the company. So that third part is how they must act. Okay, the directors act on the basis, not their own. Okay, their own regard they cannot act, but as per the resolutions made in maybe the ordinary resolution or a special resolution. That is it. Directors act on the basis of resolutions made in the board of directors meeting according to their powers stated in the articles of association of the company. I think you might be clear about this definition. Okay, a person who is appointed or elected member of the board of directors of a company and has the responsibility of determining and implementing policies along with others in the board. Then second part, it is not necessary to hold any shares in the company or be an employee. Third part, directors act on the basis of resolutions made in the board of directors meeting according to their powers stated in the articles of association of the company. Okay, now the maximum and minimum number of members of the board of directors. Okay, number of directors we will write, number of members, number of directors in a company. Okay, this is stated in section 149 1 of the Companies Act. Every company, each company shall have a minimum of 3 directors for if the company is a public company. Okay, must have a minimum of 2 directors if the company is a private company. And the third one person company, 1 director. Okay, if it is, this is the minimum number. Okay, every company shall have a minimum number of three directors. In the case of a public company, 2 directors in case of a private company, and 1 director in case of a 1 person company. And maximum 15 directors. A company can appoint 15 directors in a company, in a particular one company. Okay, if they need more than 15 directors, what a company must do? They have to pass a special resolution. Okay, majority must accept. Okay, special resolution in the general meeting. That means the shareholders meeting. Okay, that must be needed. But central government approval is not needed. Central government approval is not needed. Okay, but they have to pass a special resolution in the general meeting to appoint more directors than 15 directors. Okay, but this act has been started in 2013, isn't it? So the act has given 1 year period. One year period is given for every company to comply with this provision, okay, of this act. Because if they need, if there are more than 15 directors in a company, immediately within a year they have to pass a special resolution in the general meeting. They have to arrange for a general meeting and they have to pass a special resolution. Okay, so for that purpose they have given 1 year time period. Now, we will see the next heading, the general duties of the directors. General duties, particular duties are given. The overall duties of a director. So they are. It is very essential, compulsory for all the directors of a company. Understand what they have to do. The main first general duty is to act in good faith. That is for any job that is needed, isn't it? We have to act in good faith. Faithful discharge of duties, we say, isn't it? So they have to act in good faith, all the directors. Because they have studied, they must show the active interest in the performance of the company. They have to act in the best interest of the company, and they may not work for their own interest, okay, for the interest of the company only, and they may not work for their interest, and in no purpose they have to create profit on their own. Okay, if there is any profit on their duties, that is belong to the company only. So they have to act in good faith. That is the first and foremost duty of a director. Then to act with utmost care. So he has to act with the utmost care, full care. Carefully he has to discharge his duties. Okay, he may not be negligent or ignorant. Okay, of any of his duties. Okay, he must perform with utmost care his duties. Okay, and he must be very prudent and careful. Okay, he must be wise in performing his duties. Okay, that is the second main duty of the director. And the third one is not to delegate his work. Delegation we know, isn't it? Assigning his duties to others. So here the director may not delegate his works to his subordinates. If he is supposed to do that work, he must do that work. He may not perform that, he may not delegate, or he may not give his works to his subordinates. Okay, but there are some exemption. They can delegate their work to others if it is permitted in the Companies Act. Some of the delegation may be permitted to delegate. Okay, that one he can delegate. Either in the Act or in the Articles of Association. If any work can be delegated, then he can delegate his work to others. Or some duties may need the expertise knowledge. That expertise need, okay, in expertise to work he needs, then that work also can be delegated, because he may not be able to do that work. Okay, any expertise to knowledge is needed to perform such work, then those work can be delegated to those persons, those who are the experts. Okay, now we will learn the next heading, key managerial personnel of a company, KMP. In the previous lesson we have studied, isn't it? Key managerial personnel. Okay, this one, the new introduction we have studied in the Companies Act 2013. So key managerial personnel is one of the new concept that they have introduced in this 2013 Act. Okay. Here they have included some other directors. That means the chief executive officer, then chief financial officer, Okay, then the company secretary. Everybody will come, including in the key managerial personnel. Okay, here they have given one definition in section 2, subsection 51. Subsection 51 of the Companies Act, the chief executive officer. Okay, the key managerial personnel means chief executive officer. Then second one, the managing director or the manager. Okay, then the company secretary. Then the whole time director. Whole time director. Then the chief financial officer and other officer. Any other officers, maybe the human resource officer. Okay, so all these will come under the heading the key managerial personnel. It's the simple definition given in the act. Okay, section 251 of the Companies Act 2013 says the key managerial personnel includes the chief executive officer, the managing director or the manager, and the company secretary, the whole-time director, chief financial officer, and any other officer. Okay. Here, which companies have to appoint this key managerial personnel? Okay, which companies? Every listed company must appoint the key managerial personnel. Listed company we know that is listed in the stock exchange. Okay, the stock exchange, there will be a list given. If they want to list their name in the stock exchange, they have to follow some formalities. Then only their name will be listed in the stock exchange. So that listed company must follow this key managerial personnel. And every public company having the paid up share capital, paid up capital of rupees 10 crore or more. Okay, if a company has 10 crore paid up capital or more paid up capital, and if that company is a public company, they have to appoint the key managerial personnel. Okay. Again, we will learn the board of directors in detail.